Bitcoin and Litecoin daily update. What's up, guys? Crypto Savvy here. I hope everybody's having a fabulous Friday. We're going to take a look at the charts. We're going to start out with Litecoin, then move on to Bitcoin. And at the end of the video, we're going to look at my favorite charts, Bitcoin daily versus the gold weekly, and why I believe we are still on our way to 46,000 by the end of the year. Even though everybody's super bearish right now, we are still headed towards 46 in my opinion. Also, I want to remind you guys, definitely click the description below the video. There's some links down there, some affiliate links that really help the channel out. Definitely check those out if you haven't already. If you can use them, that's awesome. If not, that's okay too. Also, there's a free Discord group in there. Awesome community, guys. You definitely need to check it out. If you love crypto, you'll love the Discord group. So let's get on with the video. All right, guys, as always, I want to start out by saying I'm not a financial advisor. This is not financial advice. This is my opinion and my view of the market only. Anybody that's doing any trading or investing in this market, I suggest you do your own due diligence and your own research, as this market is extremely volatile and risky. Also, keep in mind it's still a speculative market. Don't put in more than you're willing to lose. And with that being said, if you're new here or you haven't already, definitely hit the subscribe button in the lower right-hand side of the screen. That'll get you subscribed to the channel. Tick the notification bell to get you notified when I post new videos, as I do post updates every day and do live streams every once in a while. It will notify you when I do it. So definitely don't forget to do that. Give it a giant thumbs up, guys. Leave your comments. Let me know what you think, and let's get into the video. All right, so I got Litecoin on the weekly here, and you can see this trend line I have drawn in here. We're getting higher lows in the price action, lower lows in the RSI. That's hidden bullish divergence, guys. I do expect a big move up. Probably not going to be this weekend, and I'll explain why in a little bit when we talk about Bitcoin. But I do believe we're probably going to have maybe some sideways action this weekend, and then next week we may start our move up. You know, there's no guarantee there, but we're going to take a look at why I believe that. For one, if we could come all the way back down here in Litecoin to the $78 range and still be making this hidden bullish divergence. So let's take a look at the daily chart. Oh, let me go back real quick. Just want to show you something in the weekly. Well, it's not as much in here. We'll go back to that in Bitcoin, but let's look at the daily chart. You can see I have some more immediate targets. We'll talk about them in a minute. First, I want to show you what I'm looking at in the daily. I'd seen somebody made a video and had me on there yesterday about this 271 and it not being resistance or support at any time, but it was. We had a lot of confluence right in here. And if you zoom into that to the 4 hour, which I'm not going to do, you can do that yourself. You can see why this is pretty significant number here. I am looking at this as a cup and a handle forming here, and we are forming the handle. I do believe we have hit the bottom over here at the 90 or the 74, 76, $76 range. I don't believe we're going to go below that, guys. And the measured move off the cup and handle is the measurement of the depth of the cup to the neckline, which is around the 146 area. And if we break out, that's what gives me the 270 to 271 range. That is not my end of the year target for Litecoin. I do believe Litecoin will probably see between 500 and 1,000 somewhere, and we'll know more the further we go along. But this is my cup and handle target, the 271 area. So let's I'm gonna move this back over, and we are going to take a look at the more immediate price action in a minute, but first I want to look at the daily RSI. And if you notice, and if you've been following the channel, we were watching this rising channel, which we have fallen out of here. It is possible we come back down, test the bottom of this channel, and get into the extremely oversold range, but I'm not so sure that's going to happen, and I'll show you why in a little bit. But if you look at where we're at now, we had this long-term falling channel that started in April, right when we had our big $1,000 candle, or $1,000 candle, our big candle around April 1st. People were making fun of it, calling it an April Fool's joke or whatever. But as you can see, we had a falling wedge in here, broke out of that into a falling channel, into another, into another, into another. We had this falling wedge we were watching, which we broke out of here. And if you've been keeping up, we had this falling channel or falling wedge, whichever you want to call it, right here, that we broke out of, and we're continuing up. This does look like a bull flag in the RSI. That's not to say we don't come back down and test the top of this channel. That is possible. Like I said, this weekend, I don't believe we're going to have a huge move up over the weekend. That would throw off the hidden bullish divergence in the weekly chart. So I am expecting a move up though soon. Let me go. Whoops, I didn't mean to do that. Let's go into the more immediate price action and look at what's going on in Litecoin. All right, so I have a falling channel drawn in here that we're at now. Looks like we're gonna probably get some resistance soon here at the 55 EMA, which is right around where we're at now, 94,9,500. But if we do break out of the top of this channel, I do have a measured move. Actually, that is not it. Is that it? Let me measure this channel here. And the measured move off that would be around the 108 range. So I'm going to put a target up there, guys. I didn't have time to go over all this. Whoops. I didn't have time to go over it all and put the targets in like I usually do. So bear with me. And I hate that word, bear. I do think the bears are going to get wrecked here pretty soon and pretty hard, especially the ones waiting on the lower lows. Also, I have another target in here I want to show you guys, and that would be looking at this as a flag pull with the bull flag here. And if we pop out, that one gets us to that 105 range right in there, which would line up with the 200 EMA. So I do believe we're most likely headed up to this direction, guys. And like I said, I don't necessarily think we're gonna have a big move up this weekend. I think it'll probably be after this weekend and the next weekly candle. But I do see these areas very possible right now, and then we may come back down this weekend. But as of right now, these are my targets. If we break out of this falling wedge, looks like it's trying to now, my targets are up here. If we do not break out, then we could possibly coming back down to these lows here around the 76. If them break, obviously, then we're looking at the more bearish case scenario. And $62 is my worst case scenario, guys. And that is the long-term trend line from where we broke out in December. I honestly don't think that's going to happen. I don't see it happening. If we do break out of the top of this falling channel here, my measured move is the width of the channel to wherever we break out. You know, this could change depending on where we break out, guys. Remember that. But between the 131 and 135 range is my target of the breakout of here. And then, you know, we could come back down to test these trend lines down here. But that's where I'm at with Litecoin. I do think we are in good shape, guys, unless we break this low right here at $76. I don't see us breaking that. Yeah, I just don't see it. And I know a lot of people are talking about the halving and all that stuff. That doesn't affect me. I don't watch the news. I don't pay attention to the fundamentals or all that. I pay attention to charts only, and it's done pretty well if you've been following my channel. If not, definitely check out my old videos. I started in December. We've gotten all the way here. I've been bullish ever since down in here. When I started making the videos, I did call the bottom in December and explained this whole move going up. So definitely check that out if you haven't already. Now I'm going to go into Bitcoin, and we have the same thing in Bitcoin, hidden bullish divergence. but I do believe that we're probably going to stay down in this area for this weekend. I could be wrong. We could get our move up this weekend, because I do think we're ultimately going up, way up, as you heard in the beginning. We'll be looking at my end of the year target when I look at the Bitcoin daily versus gold weekly. But anyways, we do have hidden bullish divergence. We're getting higher highs in the price, or higher lows in the price, I'm sorry, and lower lows in the RSI. That is hidden bullish divergence in the weekly. Now I'm going to go over to the daily chart. I do want to show something real quick. If you look at the daily chart, when we had this big rise here, that would be these green volume candles, and then we fell down all the way over here. Let me draw the trend lines in so you guys can see that. I'm going to make it white. But yeah, if we go to where we broke out, we had declining volume, and then big move up. And then the next one right here, when we had this peak, you go to the volume and go all the way down to here where it was decreasing all this time till right here when we broke out. And we are having the same thing happen here, much steeper, much more powerful, I do believe. And when we break out, I do believe we're going to the upside, guys, and it is going to be just a huge move. I do believe we're headed up. I don't know how else to say it. I know, like I said, everybody is so bearish here and waiting for the 85. I do have lower targets down here, and we'll talk about that in a minute, but I do want to show you my higher targets and why first. I do have this triangle drawn in here. I also drew a trend line right here looking at this as a possible falling channel, which would still be a bull flag. But I'm more concerned about this triangle here. I believe that triangle is still valid. We did have a bear trap right down here, and I do believe there are people stuck down there. So let's look at the measured move of just the triangle itself. If we were to break out, you know, in this area somewhere, we're looking around the 16,000 to 16,400 range for the target, and that would be meeting the top of this trend line here, this white long-term trend line here. And if we did a measured move, measuring this as a flagpole and brought this up to around where we break out, that gets us up to the 18.4. Now that would, you know, it doesn't mean we go straight up and bust through this. We may come around in this area and then break up, but once we break this trend line, we'll be able to know our next big target. And if we were to break out from around the 16.4 range and break up from there, and again, guys, that doesn't mean it's straight candles all the way up. We are definitely going to have choppy action, whatnot. I do not day trade. I don't care to day trade. 90% of day traders lose everything. I don't care what anybody says. If you're watching people that are day trading and they're constantly saying they're winning, 90% of them are lying, because only 10% of day traders actually make money. So just so you guys know that, very risky. If you guys want to do that, that's on you. I'm going to go ahead and get rid of these trend lines I drew in. But anyway, yeah, so if we broke out in that range, my target would be around the 29,000 range. And then, of course, we'll probably have a correction after that and then continue our move up to more new all-time highs, which I believe is going to be around 46,000 by the end of 2019. Let's go into the daily RSI, take a look at that. And as you guys can see here, I pointed out, if you look at these moves right here, this one here where we come up, came down, and then we went up, back up to this trend line up here, did it again, got a lower low, went up, made another new high, which was that 13.8. Now we're coming down here. I do believe we're going to possibly come back up here, make a new high. Again, guys, this is my opinion. Definitely do your own due diligence and your own research if you are trading. And everybody's trade risk tolerance, as long as you're doing money management, there's tons of different ways to trade. I'm showing you what I'm doing. And I've been adding longs. I'm still in a long at 11.2 that I could have got out of plenty times, but I'm still in that long, and I've been adding longs all the way down, just so you guys know, to be transparent. Anyways, yeah, I definitely, if if you look here, we had this rising channel in the daily. We broke out of it here, broke back in it, and we had this falling channel that got us out. We broke out of the falling channel into a falling wedge, broke out of the falling wedge. I guess you could still say we're in it if you wanted to look at it like this, but either way, I do see more upward momentum, and we're going to look at 4-hour RSI, and then we're going to look at the more immediate price action. So as you can see here, if you've been watching my videos, you know what all this is. I'm not going to go over it. We're watching this as a falling wedge, which we broke out of, and looking at this as a falling wedge in the 4-hour, which we broke out of, came back, tested the top for support, got support. I do believe we're possibly headed back up. Let's look at the more immediate price action. We'll take a look at the bearish scenario and then the bullish scenario. So the bearish scenario gets us to, let me get that out of the way. As you can see, I drew a trend line off these two peaks here. I honestly don't believe this is valid here, but I still want to point it out because it is possible. The 8,500 range, let's see, I'll put this back up here. The 8,500 range would be coming back down to test this trend line for support and get a bounce. If we don't, you guys know my absolute worst case scenario is around the $8,100 to $8,200 range, and that would be retesting the top of this rising wedge that we broke out of back here. But I don't see that happening, guys. I do believe that everybody waiting on these $8,500 lows are gonna end up being the ones that push us up through and higher when they FOMO in and realize we're not going to 85 or 81 or any of them crazy lows. I know everybody talks about the CME gaps getting filled. Gaps don't have to fill, guys. That's a perfect opportunity for whales and bulls to trap the bears, in which I believe a bunch of people got trapped down here in the $9,100 range. Could I be wrong? Yep, definitely could be wrong, but I am telling you what my opinion is and my view of the market, guys. So now we're going to take a look at the more immediate price action of what I believe is happening right now. As you can see, I have this trend line drawn here that we've broken out of. We came back down to test, and we did a measured move off that. That would be this flag pull here, and that would get us up to around this 12,000 range, which would also be the top of this long-term rising channel that we broke out of here. Now let's take a look at the closer. I'm gonna zoom in a little bit more, guys, and show you what I'm looking at here. Same thing, bull flag, pull, and bull flag, and we've broken out of this. If we draw a trend line, across here, we've broken out of those, came back down, tested it for support, come up. So I do also have a target, more immediate target for, and again, guys, remember, I do believe that we'll probably stay in this area this weekend. At least I hope we will, because that will keep us in hidden bullish divergence in the weekly. So this is around the 10.4, 10.430. We'll probably also get some resistance here, guys, around the 10,200, which is the 55 EMA. If we get rejection there, then we could be looking at, you know, coming back down and testing the bottom of this rising channel we have here. But again, I do want to remind you guys that I still am looking at this triangle here and this as a bear trap, trapping all those that are expecting those lower lows. Now the measured move off of, we'll do this one first. The measured move off of this triangle, measuring it as a triangle, if we were to break out from that 12,000 range, that also gets us up to that 16,000 to 16,300, which would be the top of this white trend line here. So it all matches up pretty good, guys. I do believe we are going to continue up. But like I said, I don't believe we're going to jump straight up. It's going to be crazy. We're probably going to get some sideways bouncy action in here. Let's go to the Bitcoin daily chart. and then we'll get over to the Bitcoin weekly chart. If you guys haven't seen this, this is my end of the year target, and you'll see why when I click over to the gold weekly chart. It's around 46, 47,000 by the end of the year. Keep an eye on this here. And again, this is a pattern. It doesn't have to play out candle for candle, guys. It's just a pattern. Just like if you were to find a 3-minute chart triangle and look at how it breaks out in the measured move off of it, and then you would find one in a daily, and it would play out pretty much the same. This is definitely a pattern here, and I believe that we are following the same pattern that gold did. And if you look here at the bottom trend line, we had 2 touches. Remember that. I have these lines drawn from the dotted line here from the peak to where we broke down at 6,000. The yellow line here from the peak to where we broke down at 6,000. And when we broke through, this happened. And if you guys been watching the channel, we've been watching this since January, watching this whole thing play out, calling it move for move off of the gold chart, and has been acting perfect. So next thing I want to point out is this blue trend line was support through the bear market till we broke down at 6,000. Then we broke through, never looked back. And then I have this white trend line from these supports here. There's 3 touches. And I drew it all the way across, and that's where we're flirting with that right now. I believe once we get back above this, which is around, 10,800 to 11,000, I don't believe we're going to break back below it. I'm going to click over. I'm going to click back and forth for the gold weekly chart to the Bitcoin daily chart and show you why I have the target of 46,000. And you can see the similarities, guys. It's absolutely amazing. Anybody that denounces this is closed-minded and thinks they know everything. And I'm not guaranteeing that this is happening, but I am saying I am pretty damn sure this pattern is going to play out. It's just the similarities are amazing. We had the 2 touches on the bottom trend line, just like Bitcoin. Flirted with this white trend line off of these 3 touches over here. Had the blue trend line from these peaks to the breakdown, and it broke through, never looked back, got up to the white, flirted with the white, and went all the way up here. As you can see, there was corrections along the way. We're gonna have corrections, guys. And this is when everybody gets paranoid, then they sell down here, and then they end up buying back up here, and that's how people get wrecked. Like I said, day trading, it's 90% chance you're gonna lose your ass, period. That's why I swing trade. I do longer trades, much safer. I don't do crazy high leverage trades. I do want to remind you guys there is some exchange links in the description below the video. My affiliate links to help the channel out: Prime XBT, Bybit, and Kraken. I use Kraken the most. I use 5 times leverage. I don't go crazy gambling with 20 to 100 times leverage. So anyways, yeah, I'm going to click back and forth, and you can see the similarities, where we're at, what's going on. I do believe we're going to hit 46,000 by the end of the year. Also, I want to go into the daily. Well, let's look at something in the daily RSI real quick, or weekly RSI. Did want to point this out real quick. All right, so we had these 2 trend lines drawn in here in the weekly RSI. We've also been watching this since January, which would have been right over in this area where we were getting resistance off this trend line. But this 2013 bull run followed by the bear market. 2 touches of resistance on this trend line before starting the bull market. 2017 bull market followed by the bear market. 2 touches of resistance before starting the bull market. Starting the bull market, guys. Also, I want to point out, look at the similarities to this and this right here. Amazing. So I do believe we're probably going to see something like this, just like we've seen over there. Again, it probably won't play out exact. It's going to be something like this, guys. We are in a parabolic bull run, period. There's no other way to explain it. And the bears cry all day, and I can tell, when I start getting harsh comments or whatever, I love that, because that means the bears are getting scared and they're getting pissed because they missed the bottom. Let's look at the monthly RSI. You can see I have these 2 arcs drawn in here. This is the 2013 bull market followed by the bear market. 4 arrows here, each one representing a new low in the RSI before the bull market started. 2017 bull market followed by the bear market. Each one of these arrows, 4 of them, just like over here, represent a new low in the RSI before starting the bull market. The only difference here, guys, is this is going to be much stronger, much more parabolic, in my opinion. So if you enjoyed the video, definitely subscribe to the channel by clicking the Crypto Savvy logo above my head. Tick the notification bell to get you notified when I post new videos. Smash the likes, guys. Leave your comments. Let me know what you think. I am out of here. I will see you tomorrow. Take it easy. Have a great day.